Throughout history, there's been a large number of incorrect predictions. Some based around doomsday scenarios, and some others are much more tame. When I made the decision to take on these aim sensitivity challenges, I made the prediction that 100 centimeters was going to be far more enjoyable and easier than the 5 centimeter counterpart, but I was only half right. If I had to choose between doing this challenge again or redoing the 5 centimeter challenge, I would absolutely choose the latter. When I first started the challenge, I was pretty optimistic based on how the mouse felt in my hand and how smooth my inputs were. After our first benchmark, we finished out at Silver 1 with some standout scenarios such as Air Angelic 4, 6 Sphere, Bounce 180, and Vox TS. This is immediately above my performance of the 5 centimeter challenge already, and I'm pretty confident about how these 2 weeks will go. My initial prediction was that reactive tracking was going to be the most difficult set of scenarios. Keeping a super close and fast strafing target in the center of your screen proves to be a pretty tough ask when you can't even manage to reach 180 degrees using every inch of your mouse pad. My scores steadily improved, and by the end of week 1, I managed to hit gold 2 overall with 2 scenarios at platinum. That being Ground Plaza and Fugler XYZ. And as we rolled into week 2, we started to see more platinum scores start to roll in. First it was Popcorn, and then Bounce 180, 6 Sphere, and then hugely surprisingly PGTI, jumping all the way from silver to platinum within 1 day. The second part of this challenge was far more difficult than anything that I encountered when doing the 5 centimeter challenge. And that includes the week that I was running 2.5 centimeters in Battlefield because of my poor math skills. This is partially because I'm not playing a game that is tailored towards using such a low sensitivity. If I played CSGO or Valorant, I'm sure I would have had a much easier time. Originally, I thought that such a low sensitivity might be slightly more of a benefit in Battlefield 2042 because of the larger maps and the longer range gunfights you have because of that. In reality, while these larger maps do create some larger firefights, the majority of your time as infantry is kept on close quarters areas anyway, so you don't see those benefits shine nearly as often. And then when you do find yourself in a really close range situation, it just becomes a straight up hindrance. The number of times where I would have to make a 180 degree turn because someone had wingsuited or parachuted down behind me, or someone had ziplined up to a high container and I needed to follow them vertically, and I just ran out of mousepad, took me from a situation where I was fairly confident in my abilities to one where I had no chance whatsoever to win. None of that is to mention the fact that to counter recoil on some weapons, I had to pull my mouse down nearly a quarter of my mousepad, making some long range engagements and even short range tracking situations damn near impossible. In the end, I think this sensitivity can be of a benefit in very niche situations, especially if you're trying to train yourself to use more of the mousepad, or if you really want to speed up your target switching. If you are really trying to prove your aim and your mouse control, I have no doubt in my mind that using a high sensitivity is by far more beneficial for you and your growth than using a slower sensitivity. Running an extremely slow sensitivity like I have in this challenge, I think is really only suited for a very small group of people that have a very specific goal in mind. Check out my last video where I challenged myself to use 5 centimeters per 360 for 2 entire weeks, and leave any aim training challenges that you would like to see me do in the future down in the comments.